A few weeks ago, my son and I headed off to a promising location in search of images and light. Unfortunately, neither were cooperating that day. At least, not till the very end. Well, we've finally reached the start of our destination. It's a little track called Zigzag Road, and it's certainly living up to its name. It's zigging and zagging everywhere, and we're surrounded by volcanic boulders here. Oh wow, look at this! Somebody's actually stacked them. How the hell do they get those up there? That's crazy. I'm going to turn the camera around and see if you can see that.
There's a sheep there. There's lots of sheep.
Yeah, I know. Somebody's actually gone and... I mean, you'd need a crane to stack those up. You couldn't just... There's no way you could lift those. Not even with a group of people. That's crazy. But this is often the quandary with landscape photography is you drive into an interesting area and everywhere you look, there's interesting stuff to look at, but it doesn't necessarily make a good photo, and that's always the problem, is you really want to isolate your subject unless you're presented with a vista that is particularly beautiful, whether it's a leading line of water to some interesting midground and some lovely background. But if you're lacking, a scene that's sort of given to you on a plate like that, then you need to be able to pick out a subject. And in an area of farmland and rolling hills like this, there tends to be a fold in the land and the way the light hits it, or it's an unusual tree, or in this case what we're looking for is an assortment of volcanic boulders. But they seem to be getting thin on the ground now, don't they, son? With the clouds starting to roll in and the light failing to turn a nice golden colour, I was running out of options. I found myself walking around, pointing my camera at this and that, trying to find a composition, but I just couldn't. We clambered over rocks and under trees, and still we seemed to struggle to find something. I've got this gnarly old tree here embedded between large boulders. Now the light's pretty harsh right now, so it's not ideal, but I want to get a couple of shots anyway, just to see how it looks essentially. See what I can do with the sky here. There's not much I can do. I imagine that once this gets a bit of glow on it, if we get any glow, it could look pretty cool. But right now it's just a gnarly looking tree coming out of a rock. So what do you reckon, Sonny? Have a look.
It's not bad. It could be used a little lighting, but also it might not be interesting to the viewers.
Yeah, there you go. It might not be interesting to the viewers. Yeah, it definitely needs more shadow detail, but we can bring that out in the computer. Okay, I've stuck on the 14mm, the Samyang 14mm, to see what I can get here. There are a couple of possibilities here, but this tree is a little bit, I don't know, it's a little bit too messy. Still on a 2-second timer as always. Always have a 2-second timer to counteract any movement from touching the tripod. Let's see how this looks now as a horizontal shot. I think it works best as a portrait shot. But, as I've said about 1 billion times, and I'm sure you're sick of me saying it, in the age of digital, there's no reason why you can't take 1 million shots and then see which one you like best. I'm thinking we should probably head back down and walk a bit further around the other side. Yeah, I don't think this tree is it. I've taken quite a few photos of it, but it's just not doing it for me. And I don't like the way the background is blown out either. So let's call it quits here. We'll head back down the hill. Right now we're waiting for the light on this rock. I'll just swing you around. On this rock and this tree behind it. And we're hoping that there's going to be a break in the clouds. We're hoping there's going to be a break in the clouds to actually light this up for us. But right now, we're just going to stand here, camera at the ready, everything's set. I've just got to wait for the sun to break through those clouds over there and hopefully light up our scene. I don't hold much hope though, because the sun's getting pretty close to the horizon. And there is that row of trees behind us which can block it a bit, so we just have to... I'll probably wait another 10 minutes because my son's here with me. He's getting restless and he wants to take a dump. So we're going to have to leave soon. You want to take a dump, don't you? Oh, light. No, light. Hey, you're not listening. We got some light. Just a tiny bit of light. A little bit of a glow. Yes, a little bit. Not much. So I'm taking a few shots and I'm focus stacking here. Rather than using the R5's built-in focus stacking feature, which I think is a bit of a pain in the bum unless you're doing stuff in studio, all I'm doing is I'm set up on a tripod here, obviously. I just use my autofocus, put the autofocus selector down in the foreground, take a photo, move it up halfway, take a photo, then move it right off in the distance and take another photo. And that should be enough. And then I can either focus stack them in Lightroom or I can do it manually, in Photoshop.
No, I don't do that.
All right, we're going to wait a few more minutes, see if I can get a couple more shots, and if I can't, then we're going. This really is an ordinary photo the way it looks now. If the sun just hit this and all these rocks here in the foreground, it could be a great shot. But in this flat light, it's just meh. This is why light is so important. I mean, composition is really important. Kind of in order of priority, it's what are you photographing? So it's your subject, and how are you focused in on that subject? Oh, there's a bit of glow there. Bit of glow on those rocks, that's good. Yes. So first priority is your subject. What are you photographing? How isolated is that in your composition? Is it obvious what your subject is? The second is how you arrange the components within your image, so your composition, your angle, your lens choice, your position relative to the subject, the things that you exclude and the things that you include. And then, of course, really important is the quality of the light, the direction of it, the color of it, the intensity of it, the level of diffusion in it. Oh, we got a bit of light now. Oh, yes. It's not going to light up my foreground though. It's only lighting up the background. So I don't know what I'm going to do with this foreground. I think I'm going to have to do a bit of selective editing in Lightroom to make this image work, if it works at all. I mean, it looks relatively interesting, but through the screen it looks pretty ordinary. I'm just hoping that that's not the case when it comes time to editing it, because I really, after walking around here all this time, it would be nice to get something. All right, I think that's all we're going to do, Sonny. I think we'll nick off. I was certain that any chance of golden light had vanished, but then when we turned to return to the car, we saw this. A last sliver of light bursting through a small break in the cloud, revealing about 2 minutes of golden light. I quickly unpacked my gear again, attached my camera to the tripod and ran to the other side of the track and managed to capture what I had been hoping for all along. And as luck would have it, the shot that I took earlier of the tree with a 14mm lens wasn't a dead loss after all. Thanks to the magic of Lightroom, I was able to pull out the colours that I saw with my eyes and produce a photo that I now love. Oh, by the way, thanks for watching. Say bye, Tommy.
Bye-bye, mate.
My favourite little person in the world.